Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Today I am going to introduce the fourth part of the Vipassana. We have done part 1, 2, 3, and now we come to the fourth one. And I started from in Sinhala language, it's called the Sammasana Jnana. In English, it is called knowledge of comprehension. Every time when I introduce insight part by part, I also remind you the practice again. Those who prefer to do breathing meditation, when you breathe in, breathe out, say 1 in mentally. Breathe in, breathe out, say 2 in mentally. Breathe in, breathe out, say 3 in mentally. And start from 1 again. Those who prefer the rising and falling of the abdomen, they can notice that place. When the abdomen rises, say rising. When it falls, say falling. Rising, falling. Rising, falling. While noticing the rising and falling of the abdomen, if you happen to experience pain, especially in knee joints or someplace, do not stretch your leg. Stay at the same position, stay still. Contemplate on that place. Close your eyes and look at that place mentally, say, and then keep repeating, pain in, pain in, pain in, until the pain goes off completely, and come back to rising and falling. Come back to the rising and falling. And if you hear a sudden distraction, say hearing, hearing, hearing 3 times, come back to rising and falling, rising and falling. If you get thoughts like wandering thoughts, say wandering, 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 say it mentally, wandering, 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 and come back to rising and falling. If you are thinking, say thinking, 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 come back to rising and falling. If you have anger, say anger, 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 come back to the rising and falling of the abdomen. And if you have any desire, say desire, 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 come back to rising and falling. And if you still have time after sitting for a while, you can stand up mindfully and do walking meditation. When you lift your foot and keep it forward, say left, and then this one right. So left, right, left, right. Mostly pay attention somewhere around the feet. Once you go near the wall, say mentally turning, 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 and turn towards the other way, and keep doing walking meditation. You can increase the walking up to 3 steps. First step is left, right, left, right. Second one is lifting, keeping. Third one is lifting, moving, keeping. So it takes a long time, many hours of practice to come to the third steps. Now, this is a simple practice. When you are eating, be aware sweet and sour taste. When you lie down, be aware the contact of the body. When you are bathing, be aware hot and cold sensation. When you are drinking, be aware hot and cold sensation. If you want to move your arm, then be mindful and stretch it and bring it back. So every moment has to be noticed very mindfully. You can do walking meditation, sitting meditation,
if you are tired, you can lie down and be aware the contact of the body touching parts of the seat, and then notice that, and still you can do breathing meditation or either rising and falling. And you can also do walking meditation, sitting meditation, lying down, and standing meditation. If you want to do it, standing meditation, you can stand still. Be aware of the contact of your feet and concentrate that place. And you can also notice the breathing or rising and falling with open eyes. When you are doing walking meditation, you have to open your eyes, not with closed eyes. When you are doing sitting meditation, you can close your eyes if you prefer. Now I start the Vipassana insight meditation from the place I have stopped. Now today is the Sammasana Jnana section, knowledge of comprehension. When the purification of overcoming doubt has come to maturity, the meditator discerns the initial, middle, and the final stages of any object that is noticed. Now, when you come to this level, the meditator could very clearly know. For example, if the pain arises, he can know the arising of the pain and the middle part of the pain and the cessation of the pain. When you move your hand, you meditator will know the beginning of the moving and the slowly moving, the ending part of it. So there will be beginning, middle, and ending will be understood very clearly. When the thought arises, you can see, you can notice how it arises, the initial part and the middle part of the thought and the vanishing part of the thought. This is very practical. You have to come to this level to understand. But we give a little support introduction. If you are practicing alone, that you can check your own practice, how far that you have developed. When one process ends, the next one starts. For example, when noticing the rising and falling of the abdomen, once the rising movement has come to an end, the falling movement occurs. When the falling movement has come to an end, the rising movement occurs. If you are noticing the rising and falling, you will notice when the rising has come to an end, then after that only the falling movement will occur. When the falling movement comes to an end, it comes to an end and then the rising parts begins. So you will see these changes, that rising and falling very clearly, the beginning and the middle and the ending part. When mindfully walking, once the lifting of the foot has come to an end, the moving part of it occurs. When the moving part has come to an end, the keeping part will occur. When you are doing walking meditation, when you lift your foot, after lifting and it has come to an end, when it has come to an end, the moving part will start. It occurs. When the moving part ends and the lowering parts comes, and you will understand the lowering part. So you will see the initial part, middle part, and the end part. When mindfully notice those feelings for several times, they completely disappear. If you notice very mindfully all these changes, the pain or sound, the initial part, middle part, and ending part, gradually they all fades away. Once notice the mental visions for 2 or 3 times, and after they completely disappear, there arises another vision. When mindfully notice those mental visions for several times, they begin to diminish and blur and disappear completely. For example, those who visualize, not all the meditators visualize visions with their third eye. Some meditators will visualize figures, different figures, gardens, people, various things, and you will see the initial part and the middle part of the visual object and the ending part. So you will see the beginning and then the middle and slowly ending. When you see a person, you will see the beginning of the object, it is arising and it exists and it slowly passes away. When you notice these mental visions twice or thrice, and you can use mental notes if you want, say, scene, 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 they all disappear, but another will come again. You notice that another object will come to you. And finally they become blurred, not clear, and then slowly fades away. On seeing these disappearances, the meditator come to a conclusion that all these objects are impermanent. They have no permanent state. The disappearance of these objects and attaching to these objects is cause suffering. These painful feelings arise and pass away, again arise and pass away. All these happening is a mass of conglomeration of suffering. Then you will see all these, for example, painful feelings, they arise, exist, and slowly pass away. And you will see that all these things bring a lot of suffering, and getting attached to these comfortable feelings, attached to sounds, that cause very much suffering, because they are all impermanent. They don't last longer. You can't hold it. Any sound that you like, but they don't stay at the same position. They arise, exist, and slowly fades away. Painful feeling, what you dislike, they also arise. The initial part, middle part, ending part, they all disappear. Thoughts arise slowly. The middle part you will come to know the thought, and then slowly thoughts disappear and they beginning to diminish, vanish. Your vision become very blurred, and then the objects become very blurred, not clear, and they all pass away. And the yogi, the meditator, understand all these phenomena are impermanent. They are not self, I or ego. They do not last for a second even. They all arise and go, pass away. And it's a mass of suffering. And he come to know there is no permanent state. There is no third thought that is permanent. they arise and then pass away. Feelings arise and then pass away. Sound arise and then pass away. Whatever feelings that arise, they all pass away. Nothing exists. Nothing stays. There is no permanent state. And he come to know, the meditator come to know here, there is no person, I or ego, who does all these things. When the objects are present, there arise thoughts of recognizing, but there is no person, I or ego, who make these thoughts arise. So he comprehends all these things are impermanent, suffering, and non-self. That you understand these certain ideas come to your mind and then exist and fade away. There is no person who creates any ideas. They just arise, exist, pass away. Sounds, they arise, exist, pass away. Thoughts, they arise, exist, pass away. Feelings, they arise, exist, pass away. There is no person who is doing this. When there is object that you visualize because you have eyes and you have vision, when there is no object and there will be no visions because you have eyes, because there is object and you visualize something. There is no person, I or ego, who create the visualization. This understanding is mostly practical. This is, you can't get into this practice by mere thinking, by reading books or thinking. You have to practice and experience it yourself. On seeing this nature of impermanence, suffering, and no-self, the meditator discerns these objects have the state of impermanent nature, and it had that nature in the past, and at present too. They have the same nature in the future. The meditator here, he comes to know these arising and passing impermanent condition, it had been in my past life before, and it is also the same at the present. It will be same in the future. So past, present, and future connection that meditator come to know very clearly. We cannot put these things into words. It's a very deep understanding. So I ask you to practice and experience by yourself. Don't believe just because I told you. Don't believe just because I read something to you. Just practice it and experience it yourself. At this point, he will come to comprehend, the meditator comes to comprehend that the whole world is a mass of conglomeration. The whole world is a mass of suffering. This discernment is known as the knowledge of comprehension. So this understanding is called the knowledge of comprehension in Sinhala language called Sammasana Jnana. Sinhala is a language that used in our island Sri Lanka and this by the Sinhalese people. The knowledge of comprehension means to know the initial, middle and the final state of whatever objects noticed mindfully. The state of becoming diminished and disappearance of the visual objects. The meditator experiences severe painful feelings such as heat, itchy, and as if pinching the body severely with a sharp knife. The state of stiffness, shivering. So the meditator now, when you come to this level of understanding, meditator will experience very painful feeling. The body start beginning to pain, ache lot, aching. And you will also feel as if needles piercing your body. But you have to bear all that in order to improve further. Don't get up, don't run away. You have to have courage for this practice. So be mindful whatever that comes, try to bear it. If you determine to sit half an hour, 1 hour, don't move. Stay there. And when the pain arises, notice that. You may feel like as if the body is cutting into pieces, like such a painful feeling will arise. But notice, keep on repeating, pain until the pain goes off completely and come back to the rising and falling of the abdomen. When these painful feelings arise all over the body, the meditator should not try to notice all these conditions but focus on the places that are quite obvious. So if you experience pain all over the body, you don't have to worry about all the places, but notice the most obvious place that pain occurs. Notice that place and keep repeating pain. If you keep on noticing, they completely disappear after that. The sudden jerks of the body happens due to the rapture. At this level, you will begin to experience kind of a happiness. Here the rapture, here the word rapture is not the same happiness that somebody see a cinema or somebody come across an old friend and become happy. It's not like that happiness. This is mentally, is that kind of a happiness that we can't put it into words. It is called rapture, and is a very high level of happiness. And because of that rapture, that you will feel like sudden jerks. On seeing this destruction of all the objects, the meditator comes to know the impermanent nature of it, understanding the nature of destruction as bad And you will understand that everything is bad, and all these feelings, they appear, then they disappear. On seeing the destruction of all these thoughts, feelings, sounds, and whatever that you experience, and you understand, or called dukkhanupassana, knowledge of suffering. On seeing that the meditators destruction of these objects, and that there is no person, I or ego, who does these things, and that there is no way to of controlling of these happening, is called the knowledge of no self, anattanupassana. Then you will come to know all these thoughts arise, fades away, and it disappears, and feelings arise, they disappear, and sounds arise, they disappear. You have no power to control it. They arise and pass away. You can't control it, you can't hold it. If you like a comfortable feeling, you can't hold it. It won't last. It arises, exists, and disappear. Sometimes the scene, the destruction of all these feelings, thoughts, and you come to know the suffering side of this, and you come to know the impermanent side of it, and you find that you are helpless, and there is no person I or ego here who does that. You can't control it, and you understand there is no self here that you can control. Now we come to the last para of this, the fourth part. And next time I will start it, the knowledge of arising and passing away, when I present the next one. So I wish that you have time to at least few minutes per day to practice. Those who really want to be free from the cycle of birth and death. The Buddha's teaching is to free and from the cycle of birth and death. That helps everyone, whoever who really want to practice. And it doesn't matter whatever religion you follow, you can simply practice it. So you are noticing your own breathing, you are noticing your own feelings, your own thoughts, and your own mental factors, you are noticing that. So you are not holding on to anything, just notice it. So everyone can notice the breathing, feelings, thoughts, and do things mindfully, walking mindfully, and everyone can improve concentration and wisdom and find liberation. So let us wish, may all living beings be free from all illnesses. May all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May the entire world be filled with love and peace. I thank you.